Hey folks, Zach Osterman here, Insider Indianapolis Star. This is Bahamas Video Diaries Day 3, and Insider Video Diaries, I guess, and really nowhere to start except Indiana 61, Louisville 89. One of the worst performances, frankly, in recent memory for this program. The Hoosiers trailed by as many as 38 points. That is, per ESPN's research, going back at least as far as 2005, the most that anybody could find, the largest deficit Indiana's faced in a game under any coach at any point since at least 2005. And it really was never good for Indiana. I mean, the Hoosiers looked rattled by Louisville's pressure. That shouldn't have been a surprise. The pressure, I mean, not necessarily the reaction to it, but Louisville, they pressure defensively. They allow for some mistakes. They force turnovers. Indiana just did not look ready for it at all. 11 turnovers to 5 assists in the first half, 23 turnovers overall in the game. And Indiana was probably fortunate, given just its backcourt rotation put up a 0 in the first half. Indiana was probably fortunate just to be down 8 at halftime. And it felt like, that maybe Indiana, especially when Indiana got a steal and a score in the first two possessions of the second half, maybe Indiana kind of pulled itself back together. And then from Malik Renew's bucket to cut the lead to 6 at about 9 minutes and 30 seconds left about 19 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second half, up to about the 9-minute mark, Indiana was minus 20. That deficit went from 6 to 26. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do in college basketball, to just sort of surrender that completely. And that's, listen, there was some noise on social media about the 3-point number, and Indiana shouldn't have been shocked by how much Louisville shot the three. And Indiana made a couple late to kind of even up those numbers more than they were in the game. But the bigger one from a dollars and cents perspective was the turnovers. 23 turnovers and 30 Louisville points off those turnovers. Indiana fed directly into what Louisville was trying to do defensively. Indiana lost its poise. It looked a little bit like Indiana panicked. And then, frankly, I used that word a minute ago. There were stretches in that second half where it looked like Indiana surrendered. And I'm often very careful not to assign motive to body language. You don't know what's going through someone else's mind. You don't know what somebody else is battling through physically or whatever. But I mean, there were pronounced stretches of this game where Indiana just looked like it had completely disengaged. And for a roster that's this deep, that's this talented, that has a justifiable level of expectation this high, that's just not acceptable. There's just, there's really no way around that. It's one game in November. In theory, you can recover from that. But these kinds of performances, I think it's fair to say, are becoming too common, especially in these settings for Mike Woodson's team. And this one, feels like it has the capacity to fester, frankly, and to really kind of dig into this team's roots in ways that are very detrimental long term. So Hoosiers, we'll have a lot more. I'm going to keep these shorter. We'll have a lot more on indystar.com/sports already. Pieces up there, reasons, reactions, match ratings. This will be up soon. My Insider will be up a little bit later. We'll have more from the Bahamas, obviously. Indiana will face the loser of West Virginia Gonzaga tomorrow. I think that game is at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, plan accordingly if you'd like to. But for now, Indiana 61, Louisville 89. Hoosiers are 4-1 and into the losers bracket here in the Bahamas. I'm Zach Osterman from the Indianapolis Star. Thank you for watching.